Hey there, welcome to the Lumiere channel. If you're feeling sad and anxious right now, this reading is for you. My hope is for this reading to give you something to anchor yourself into. And we'll see what Spirit has to say to those that are feeling sad, anxious, scared, lost, with, all that sort of going on in the world and in our personal lives. We have TikTok in reverse in the protection. We'll take this. A very similar color scheme, if you can see that. I'm not sure if you can see that. Very similar color scheme. If you're finding yourself feeling anxious, sad, scared, nervous about the state of your world or the state of the world, Spirit acknowledges that with this TikTok in protection. TikTok in protection is and even with Observer, but with TikTok in protection coming out first, I feel like I need to honor that by giving a decent spiel about it. TikTok in protection is an energy where there's a recognition that time has not been, feels like it's not on your side, or it has not been on your side, right? Like, it's almost like, and with Observer here, it's almost like someone waiting for something to change, and time keeps moving and things haven't changed. Things are the same, things haven't changed. And it can sometimes feel like things are almost getting worse because the time keeps moving and nothing is changing. And that act of like holding one's breath, and I'll get back to that, but holding one's breath and hoping that things will change and wanting things will change and looking at the clock and hearing the tick and feeling the tick and just really not picking up on things moving, it can be really stressful and add to the stress and the danger of the situation. Observer here is calling out to me, Spirit, acknowledging how you might be feeling weak and helpless. And in some cases, for some of you, hopeless, because you can't do anything about it. You can't do anything about the greater circumstances. It feels like you can't do anything about the greater circumstances that are going on because it's out of your hands. You don't feel any control. You don't feel like you can do much about it except watch, except look. And in both of these energies, they're quite similar, and not just in the coloration of it all, but this is directly mimicking time. There's a literal clock right there, and we have time as represented by the moon here. The moon is time, right? The moon is months. The moon is months, it's time. And the moon is also emotion. The moon is also overwhelmed sometimes, and things unknown, things unseen, things that we don't know fully, things that we can't tell, that we can't fully predict or feel like we can't fully predict with our own faculties because things are changing so much, things are flipping around so much, or things are so unstable that it's difficult to really pinpoint what to do, where to go, what makes sense, and the like. And it can be difficult in change to make any sort of concrete decision, concrete choices, because, well, the playing field keeps changing, or it feels like it keeps changing. And what ends up happening is then we get destabilized. Sitting on an egg is not the most stable place. Eggs are fragile. So then we feel fragile and we don't know what to do. We want to do something, but we don't know what to do. All we can really do is watch. With the TikTok message coming up in the protection, it talks about feeling as though clock is ticking and getting nervous that dreams are taking too long to manifest. TikTok in reverse does come up to say that there's nothing to fear, that we won't run out of time for the important things, and that miracles that are ours won't be missed. That we are in capable hands and our angels are around us, ensuring that, we're okay. It's just the okayness may not come when we immediately want it. Right? There is that still factor of divine timing, but this is a story that tells that there will be a time of okayness. Observer here is about perspective and objectivity and neutral observation, which again leans into that feeling weak, feeling hopeless, feeling like you can't control anything, like you can't do anything, right? Like you don't have any power to do anything. But there's also something in that. When you recognize your powerlessness, as you relate to what power is, there's something about when we break down, when we have nothing, when we feel like we have nothing, what do we turn to? Who do we turn to? The parts of ourselves that are shaking, where do they go? What happens to us when we're just yolk, right? Like when the shell around us, we realize that the shells around us are fragile, and the armor that we've built, the world that we've built is fragile, and it's not as strong as we thought it was, and we're reduced to just runny yolk on the side of the street, or I don't know, at the mercy of the elements of the world. How do we navigate that space? Observer talks about seeing things through a personal lens and closely identifying with experiences and feelings, so much so that we start to believe that this helplessness, this hopelessness, everything that's happening is the only reality. And that's what the enemy wants, right? The enemy wants us to believe that what's happening is the only reality, that things can't change, that things can't turn around, that there aren't other people, other forces working for us. If you're a prayerful person, I'm sure there have been times when you've prayed for other people. So who's to say that people aren't praying for you? Who's to say that people that you don't even know are praying for you? Every time I go to church, there's always a segment of the prayer that says we pray for the people in our hearts or for the people in the world that need it. Who's to say that those prayers aren't coming to you from people you will never ever meet or know exist? Because perhaps you've done the same as well. Perhaps you've prayed for people that you'll never meet, don't know exist, but you've prayed for them. And perhaps your prayer has been carried on an angel's wing and blessed someone's life in a way that you didn't know. That your life yourself, you've been blessed in ways that you didn't even know about, or you didn't feel deserving of, or anything like that, because somewhere out there, someone carried a wish, a prayer, a blessing on an angel's wings that was delivered to you. The enemy, whatever that means to you, whether it's the thoughts in your head, the past, what's going on in the world, wants us to break down. And sometimes it's not bad for us to break down necessarily, because it's in the breakdown that we can put ourselves together, to become stronger, to see what our true metal is. And that is a painful experience, but there is something about seeing that we can stand on our own 2 feet and on the shoulders of the giants that are around us and that are walking beside us that we don't see. There are times when you need distance in order to gain perspective and understand your circumstances from a more neutral vantage point. Now is one of those times. Now is one of those times where take a breath from what's going on, take a breath, a real breath, step back and really look at the facts. Look at what's happening. Look at the patterns. Look at the motions. Look at what's happening. Feel into yourself and see what's affecting you personally. You may be feeling some type of way, but try to look at the facts. Look at the patterns. This is a perfect moment for you to begin to do some exploring. Instead of only considering yourself, consider what you need to understand about the conditions, the people, the culture, and environment you're engaged with now. You'll be so happy you did. Illumination is the miracle, blah, blah, blah. So I want to pull some guidance, because this feels like Spirit is saying that part of what's shaking you down, part of what's making you feel sad, making you feel weak, hopeless, helpless, out of control, is there's something in there for you. It's calling for you to acknowledge that while now may not necessarily be the time for things to be righted, taking some time away is going to be helpful for you to navigate this space. Taking a breather is going to be helpful for you to navigate this space. And that breather is not necessarily to ignore, but the breather is for you to step away from over identifying with what's happening. So you're put in a position of, okay, let me see what is actually happening, what is actually going on with the people, places, cultures, systems, myself, that's happening, so I can get a better perspective on it. I hope that makes sense. By the book. I'm trying to run away from this color scheme, but it's not letting me run away from this color scheme. I'm hoping for more purples and pinks, but it's not giving me that. We have card number 11, and this is by the book. By the book is sometimes a call to return for me. Sometimes by the book feels like a return, a calling back to the basics. What are the basics? What are the basics? So take care of yourself, take care of your body, right? Eat, sleep, bathe. Get your bills sorted out to the best of your ability. Cover what needs to be covered. And if you are a spiritual person, get back to basics. Get back to basics. What is basics in spirituality? That's connecting with your higher power, connecting with source on a personal level. A lot of the time in the breakdown is where Spirit is waiting for us to hold us. Right? Like the Rumi quote, the wound is where the light enters. The breakdown is where Spirit is. And now is a good time to go to Spirit. Be in Spirit. Just like you're doing now watching this. This is a reminder to say this is part of that, but there's also that personal connection of attaching yourself directly to Spirit and sitting in Spirit's presence with yourself and either praying or meditating or crying or breaking down in the comfort of the Spirit space. This also talks about following process, which can be really fucked up sometimes, but okay. Following due process, doing what you can that you know you can do. Here we have 3 different elephants, a bigger elephant ranging all the way to a smaller elephant. It's giving Goldilocks, you know what I mean? This elephant, what it can do is more than what this elephant can do. This elephant, what it can do is different, I should say. Not more, but different from what these 2 elephants can do. This little elephant can also do what it can do. Which elephant are you? Do what is within your wheelhouse to do. Do what is within your power to do. Do what is within your realm of possibilities to do. And you could be all of these elephants, right? At some points, you're this big elephant that is leading the way, that can see the path forward, is leading the way, taking it a step at a time, leading the rest. In other moments, you are the elephant in the middle. You are the link. You are the tie that binds. You're providing this elephant comfort, the bigger elephant comfort, knowing that, hey, we're behind you. And you're providing this little elephant comfort, saying, hey, I'm in front of you. I've got you. Sometimes we're this little elephant where we need to be led, where we need to help. But we're also the future, right? We're learning from the elephants that have come before us to see what we can do. But we're still babies. Like, we're still helpless. We're still learning. We're at a beginner stage. And the best we can do is be in line, follow in the footsteps of what's been laid out before us, and keep moving to the best of our little steps. So, reading this energy, this is abiding by social rules, conformity, respecting cultural and family customs, universal laws. The universe works within a structure of divine laws and principles that provides a framework for human experience and evolution. The law of abundance, the law of prayer, the law of karma, the law of attraction, the law of thought, the law of compensation, and the law of nature are only a few that are known. These principles create perfect order and operate with a kind of precision beyond human understanding. Even revolution has its place in universal law. Human beings, in turn, have their own laws and customs that vary from culture to culture and family to family. Laws keep social order and govern behavior, reflecting an instinctive understanding that harmony is important. This is a time to learn these laws and conform to them rather than being the rebel and flouting them. When this card appears, submit to structure and follow the rules, even if they seem to make no sense. Release resistance, for universal laws will correct any disharmony. Open your eyes to those universal laws, and it'll be easier to go by the book this time. So whether you need to follow actual laws or find wiggle room within the laws or lean on the laws, do that. And not just the laws provided by, the physical humans, but also the laws provided by the universe. The laws of karma, the laws of thought, the laws of compensation and nature, what goes up must come down type stuff. Lean into that if that's helpful to you. For the relationship message, as it relates to relating to other people, this says getting along with others entails understanding and respecting who they have become as a result of their environment, culture, and experience. Find the middle ground that allows the relationship to flourish while honoring the individuality of the other person. Play things by the book instead of trying to break the rules or pressure others to conform to the way you want to do them. Your connection will deepen as a result. For that, I see that sometimes we can feel helpless and hopeless because someone we care about is not doing well, or we see a better path for them than they are in right now. And this is to honor their journey as well as your feelings, right? This is to honor their journey and say they've lived a certain kind of life. And if you're going to talk to somebody or relate to somebody, understand where they're coming from and speak to them in that middle ground of where you bridge the gap between what makes them who they are, what's made them who they are, what's made them what they're about, and what's going on with them, and where you would prefer them to be, right? And just honoring the space of not trying to break the rules or pressure them to conform, but maybe sitting with them in what they're feeling, sitting with them in the places that they're at, honoring where they've been, and holding space for those laws of reciprocity, those laws of thought, those laws of nature where the seasons are real, where this could be a winter season, but spring always comes, the sun always rises, the moon always goes from full to new. And as much as there can be dark times and sad times, there's also an upturn. But to honor the space of the downtime, the dark time for this person or even yourself. The prosperity message says at this time you can expect a return on your investment. Whatever you've pursued, be it a dream you've long cherished, a skill you've cultivated, or a service you're called to, it'll come to you if you're willing to go by the book. You don't need to reinvent the wheel to be successful. Follow in the footsteps of others who have already achieved the things you're striving for. You can learn a lot by observing the structures that are already working. Your creative projects and commitment to prosperity are in alignment with the needs of the world, but impatience may tempt you to cut corners to get there more quickly. Stick with what you know works and you will attract abundance. So stick with what you know works. All right, I'm gonna put one more card. Just extra guidance at this time. Never-ending story. This goes back to this observer energy here, where we often and obviously will identify with our feelings and our lived experience and call what we're feeling the whole truth and what we're seeing the whole truth, when there are other truths that we don't see or are not acknowledging or giving as much credence to. There are other truths happening out there. For some of you, the best way for you to be a support to others, the best way for you to be this leading elephant or the middle elephant, is for you to pull back, right? If you want to be there for friends, family, your nation, your peoples, your culture, yourself, your lover, your kids, sometimes there is a call here to disconnect, right? What the observer was saying, to move away, to look away, not to ignore, not that, but to gain a better perspective. There could be something that is being missed, something that we're not seeing because that is so loud. I was coasting on Reddit, and I've never seen this show before, and I don't think I will, but there's a show called Black Mirror, and I guess there's an episode with a pig, and something happens with this pig. I never saw it, but I saw a picture of a pig, and curiosity got me, and I clicked on it, and someone explained to me what it was about. It was a diversion. It was a lesson on how the spectacle of things can be so overwhelming and inundating, and sometimes the spectacle of things, and as much as that is true, it is a truth. It is not the entire truth. It's not the entire truth. It's not the entire truth. The moon is not the only light in the sky at night. There's the stars. When the moon is dark, when it's nighttime, we can sometimes be so scared for those 12 hours or whatever, how long dark it is, forgetting the sun will rise. When it's overcast, we can forget that the sun even is existing or that it'll be warm again. Never-ending story has this line that says, "Not my circus, not my monkeys." For some of you, there is a disconnection being called here for you to disconnect so you can be stronger as a leading elephant and as the middle elephant, the chain that binds for the little elephants in your world, and for the little elephant being a part of your own consciousness that may need a break. For others of you, it's in tandem with this observation of where not my circus, not my monkeys, because if I'm part of the circus, then I'm not able to assess the circus. If I'm part of the zoo, if I'm watching the spectacle of what's going on with that pig, I'm not seeing that on this end, other things have happened. Other important things have happened. This is being blown out. And of course it is. It's sensational. It is. But it's real. That's not to take away from its realness. It's just there's also other things happening. And for you as a person to feel like things are not so hopeless, things are not so sad, that you're not so weak, that you're not so powerless, that you're not so helpless, looking at other things that are happening, looking at other truths will be helpful. I'm going to read this to you and then I'm going to go. This is a time to avoid drama at all costs, especially when it comes to other people's stuff. Your sensitivity is an overload these days, and you're best served by keeping your distance. Your mantra today is not my circus, not my monkeys. All this drama will pass, and you will carry on unscathed and blameless. The things that are going on in your world are real, but there are other real things also going on. And while the spectacle and the hurt and the identification of what's going on is affecting you, of course it is, Spirit is saying loud and clear here that things will shift. And for now, take care of your human. Take care of your little elephant. Take care of your well-being. Take care of your mental space. Don't get sucked in and infected in over-identifying with the despair that you might be feeling and connecting with right now. I'm not saying it's not real. I'm not saying it's not valid. But it is a part of the soup. There's other ingredients, other flavors in the soup as well. And for you to be okay, for you to get back to base, for Humpty Dumpty to put himself back together again, disconnect for a bit. It's not your circus, it's not your monkeys. And I don't like delivering that. Because I'm a Libra, right? And justice is a real thing for me. Like, my heart breaks for other people and what they're going through. It really does. But I think all the more reason for someone like me to get this message, to go, it's not my circus, it's not my monkeys, respectfully. I am of no use to someone if I'm broken and yolky everywhere. I need to be strong in myself in order for me to be the middle elephant, being the link that binds the two worlds, or in order for me to be the leading elephant. I need to take care of my human. You need to take care of your human. Given whatever's going on in your world, for you to be strong, for you to be better through these tough times in your world or in the world. Tap out when you need to and tap in when you can. That's the best we can really do. And at the end of all things, Spirit is always there. No one can take Spirit away from you. No one can take Spirit away from you. At the end of all things, there's always prayer. There's always connecting with Spirit. There's always meditating. Whatever that thing is that connects you to Source, that allows you to speak and mourn and cry to Source. Whatever that is, that no one can ever take that away from you. Whether you're weak or strong or in the middle or somewhere in the soup, our connection to Spirit is our connection to Spirit. And when we feel helpless and hopeless and we can't do anything in our lives, we can always go to Spirit. Okay, I wish you well. Keep your light on. Good luck. And I'll see you next time.